Right, we are in Miles City, and we're about to go get a load of milk and take it on down to Fort Collins, Colorado. Probably get some gas before we head out. Be a fun little trip. We'll see if we can make it down there without crashing into anything. All right. Okay, all fueled up. Whoops. That's our first crash. Plowed a car on the way out of the gas station. That's all right though. That's what our insurance is for. All right, let's turn on the cruise control. Cruising at 65 miles an hour. We got 19 miles to go. Drifting a little bit over that white line. That's all right. I used to have a cheap PlayStation wheel that I got for this game. And then I realized that it was in my way. And then it kind of stopped working very well. So that left me with my joystick. And I realized after I got rid of the wheel that the Logitech joystick really does just about as good of a job. And I know if I was really serious about this game, like some people are, I would care and I'd get something more expensive. But it's nice to have a joystick that you can use for anything. You can use it for other games as well, flight sims and whatever. Which I haven't been playing any flight sims lately, but it's kind of nice to know if I wanted to. We got the joystick, which works well for both. The only thing is, it's kind of hard to compensate for the fact that you can't really look out the window. I guess I could. What I need to do is move my mouse over. Sorry about that. And then start paying a little more attention to my surroundings that way. All right. Well, this is a milk delivery. We're gonna be getting a load of milk. It's our first time at this destination. I believe our trailer's over here. Oh, nope. It's on the other side. Alright. No, that's okay. Nope. That's not where it is either. There it is. Super easy, and we are now on our way. We got 583 miles to go. You know, one thing I find when I make a point to record the games I'm playing, I'm a little bit more mindful about them because I know that whatever I'm doing is going to be something I upload. So I'm focused on the game more than I would be if I was just playing by myself. And I think that's kind of cool because it helps create that sense of being 100% focused on what I'm doing instead of just sort of multitasking and doing other things. Though I do find that a game like ATS is pretty easy to, enjoy a movie or something else on the side if I want to, which is one reason I like the game. It's also pretty cool to just be able to get that experience of driving down the road without actually going and getting in your vehicle and really driving down the road, burning virtual gas. But in a way, it's not all that much different. You're still watching the road go by. I thought about installing the mods that replace the logos with real world logos and stuff like that. But then sometimes I think it's more fun if you stop always looking for a way to mod the game and you just let it be what the devs designed it to be. Like, that's a problem I think I have with a lot of games. I sort of go down that rabbit hole of modding, and the next thing you know, you're spending more time trying to mod the experience than you are really enjoying the journey. Isn't that the challenge of life? To be mindful about what you're doing, to be enjoying what you're doing, to just do one thing at a time and not be so very distracted by a lot of different extra things, because there's always something that's going to be there to draw your attention away and be like, oh, look at this other thing you could be doing, and then you don't really have a good time because you're always trying to tweak your experience. And this is our exit here. Now we're on Interstate 90. Another thing I've toyed with is the multiplayer mod for American Truck Sim. And it is cool. It puts other players on the road. But it takes all the AI traffic off the road. And you know, the other thing I find with multiplayer mods is sometimes you think that having other people playing with you will add to immersion. And then the actual outcome is that it breaks immersion. Because then you are obligated to chat with other people, and who knows what you're chatting about. And then if you're doing something with other people in a game, you start to feel like you can't just turn off the game and step away if you feel like it. And that's really not a fun feeling to me. I don't like to feel like I'm obligated to play when I don't want to. Or I have to go do content with somebody because now we're in a group and I don't want to be rude. You know, it's one thing if I want to sit down and I want to drive for an hour and a half real time in this game. That's fine. Because I wanted to do it and I chose to do it. But then once you're in a convoy with other people, and now you don't really feel like you can step away from the computer, well, that's not so much fun necessarily. It could be fun if it's people who you know and you really look forward to the time you spend together. That's one thing. But it could also wind up being a chore, and that's the risk you take. Anytime it starts to feel like a game is becoming a chore or an obligation, I think that's where you have to kind of step away and say, well, is this really the kind of experience I want? There's so many games out there. I have tons of games in my library that I want to get through. I want to get into them. I want to give them a good run and have some real fun making my way through those titles. All sorts of city building games and colony managing games and supply chain games and all of those sorts of building games, simulation tycoon type games. But I can't do that if I'm always anchored down by a few forever game sort of titles that suck up all my time. So while I've been trying to get more into gaming, I also have been trying to be more mindful about how I spend my time in gaming so that I'm able to do a lot of different things and have that sense of open-ended adventure as opposed to obligation to log in, which kind of doesn't rule out MMOs and RPGs, but I think you have to be a bit careful with those because they are just so designed often to take up your time. Like, I always liked Lord of the Rings, the movies. So then I'd be tempted to want to get into the Lord of the Rings online. And it's a cool game, don't get me wrong, it really is. But then think about how much grinding you're going to have to do to make your way through all the content in the Lord of the Rings online. If you want to enjoy the Lord of the Rings franchise, you could listen to the audiobooks of the Lord of the Rings and watch the movies, and you've sunk, I don't know, maybe that's 100 hours that you spent if you kind of made your way at your own pace through all the books and you watched all the movie content. And then compare that to thousands of hours that you might put into an MMO. And the content isn't even really going to be all that great because it's not really top tier content. It's more meant to kind of string you along. So when it comes to MMOs, I like them to be a bit more open-ended, where it's not about really exploring a story. It's more about kind of telling your own story. American Truck Simulator is not a game that you finish. But it's also not a game that's ever incomplete. If I turn off the game and I never come back, it's really fine. It's not like there's anything that is going to make me feel like, I didn't do enough. But in MMOs, there's that push. There's that sense of, there's more story you haven't done. There's that social obligation to be more involved, and it just can be kind of toxic in a way. All right, so I wonder if we should pull over and get some rest. We still have 370 miles left to go. Probably wouldn't be a terrible idea because we're already here, so let's just go ahead and do it. Of course, that probably means it's going to be dark when we... Yeah, and we're going to wake up. It's 8:58 at night. So, we do have a bit of light in the sky, though. But we're well rested for that final leg of the journey. There's definitely something special about that sense of just you and the road going off on some sort of a trip or journey. I don't really go on any road trips anymore because I started trying to save my money and be a good steward of my finances, and I don't go places if I don't have a reason to. I used to like just hitting the road and kind of seeing where it took me. So in that sense, I guess I can live vicariously through this game. Another thing about road trips is it just isn't that much fun if you don't have someone to go with. Like if you go with somebody and it's a shared journey, then I guess it makes a bit more sense, because it's not just about you. But if you're just going for your own sake, then why would I go do something purely for my own sake that I don't need to do? Because you're going to spend so much money. You're going to spend the gas, you're going to have the wear and tear on your vehicle, you're going to have all of that. And then you compare that to something like spending a weekend at home playing a game that doesn't cost you anything to play it. Kind of seems like a no-brainer in a way. Oh boy, this guy's slowing down a little bit there. Alright. Certainly one of the fun things about a road trip, though, is just being able to share stories. Because when you're on the road and all you have is those white lines passing, then, I guess you have a captive audience. Like, what else are you gonna do other than talk to each other if you have someone with you? So there's a certain bond that's shared amongst travelers. Makes it a bit more special, I think. My challenge to myself is to just spend as much time as I can sharing my gaming experiences. Really, any experiences actually, but I think gaming is a good thing to be able to share with other people. But to not just sit down and play a game purely for my own benefit, but also to share that journey, because that adds an element of fun to something that's ultimately a rather personal experience. And then, it's even if it's a single player game, it's more shared. It's something that we have to bring us together. I've also thought about how, trying to build an audience and build a channel and things, it's not so much about, I guess, quality of content as much as just having kind of a genuine content and a regular cadence about it. Like, I look at Raptor's videos. He makes a lot of amazing videos about games. This guy's been around for ages and he does wonderful work. But mostly all of his content is just him playing games. Um, Jeff Favango is cool. I really like his content. He plays this game and a lot of other games that are kind of like it. And again, great content. And mostly he just plays games and he talks about life while he does it. He doesn't have any agenda. He doesn't have anything, special about his videos, like a lot of fancy graphics or anything. He just is playing games and sharing that experience with other people. And I think that's true of most of the content creators that I really enjoy. They don't have anything really amazing about their videos other than themselves. And that's the key. It's being genuine and authentic and just opening up and sharing who you are. And then the games we play or other things that make their way onto the channel are not really, that's not really what the channel's about. It's really about that shared experience. It's about that journey. It's about having a sense of excitement and curiosity and fun, and not just keeping it to yourself. I mean, what is the value of having a wonderful experience if you don't share it with other people? So that's what this is all about. It's about sharing with others. And if you encourage somebody along the way, or something that you say kind of resonates, that makes it worth it. And I know it's true, because for me, there's been a lot of times where I've been watching videos, or truthfully, probably not even really watching them, just listening to them. And because like if it's a truck driving game video, I don't really need to even watch the gameplay, because it's just it's just a virtual truck driving down a virtual road. It's not like it's that riveting. So many times I'll just be listening to the content creator while I'm doing other things, like chopping potatoes in the kitchen or something. And then they say something that resonates, something that's cool, something that's inspiring. And next thing I feel like I'm in a better mood because I shared this experience with some content creator on YouTube. And so I think that's really what it's all about. It's about creating shared experiences by being authentic and genuine. And you have to have something that you use as a medium for conveying that message. Like, if I just made videos and I didn't have a game playing in the background, or something that is other than just me, like, yeah, that could work, but then I think it's more interesting when there's something else that you can use as a conversation piece other than just yourself. But then on the other side, though, a game has only so much depth. So if you're not talking about yourself, if you're not talking about something real, and all you're talking about is the game, then at some point you're going to run out of content. Speaking of that, I think, what does it mean? What does it mean to be a game? You know, that's a question. I think it's about not being defined by one particular title. Imagine if I said I'm a movie aficionado. Is that how you say that? Aficionado? Enthusiast. Well, all right. So I like movies, right? We'll say that. Then, you know, okay, so maybe I like a certain genre of movies. Like, I like science fiction movies, or I like rom coms or something. That's fine. But could I really say that I'm a movie enthusiast if there's only one movie franchise that I like? Like I'm all about Star Wars and that's it. Well, no. I guess that makes me a Star Wars fan, but it doesn't make me a movie enthusiast. So, it's kind of the same with games. Like, to me, I think the gaming hobby is not just about one title, it's about a lot of different titles. It's about having a sense of curiosity about all those different things that together create the gaming space. It's everything from old games that we remember on the Apple II or something in the 90s to taking an interest in PC hardware, maybe. It's just having a really well rounded interest in all the different things that together make gaming what it is. And I think a lot of people get really fixated on trying to be so involved, so invested in one particular title that maybe they lose a broader vision. And no one game has unlimited content. That's just the truth. And I think there is a space in between treating a game like it's something you just play once and then you're done with it, and being maybe capable of not just having a one-track mind. Especially games like city builders and stuff. I don't know that you're ever done with them because you can always build another city, you can always expand it, you can always go back to whatever build you've been working on and make it better. So you're never really done. But then that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to always continue to be invested in that one title. There is such a thing as saying, okay, that seems like a good stopping off place, and now I think we're going to do something else. I always like driving at night, too. It's sort of peaceful. Almost like being captain of a starship. You can see the stars up above, and you have that black road with the white lines. Just kind of feels like traveling through space. Maybe we'll change things up by switching to the exterior view. You get more of that loud engine sound in this camera view. It's kind of cool though. a little lower to the ground, so you have a little more of a sense of speed. I do feel like the AI has gotten a lot better over time. AI in games like this for traffic used to be absolutely terrible. There would be no way to navigate a long distance without a car just crashing into you for some reason. But now, they actually act rather like real traffic. Even when they don't act the way you want them to, the vehicles are still doing things that you probably would see them do in real life. Maybe cut you off or something. I kind of wonder if one day American Truck Simulator will manage to finish the entire United States. That'd be pretty amazing. What would be even more amazing would be if they do Alaska too, and then also connect Canada so that you can drive from the continental United States in the lower 48 all the way up into Alaska. That would be amazing. I don't know if they'll ever get around to Canada. I'm sure the modding community will. I think they already have, actually. But then I don't normally get too much into the mods because I feel like the mods that dramatically expand the map area wind up they're using the same assets, and you can tell that they're trying to make the map bigger, but it doesn't really feel original. It looks like we're going to make it to our destination with only one accident. Just that one car that we cut off on the way out of the fill-in station at the very beginning of the run. Just have to make sure that I'm using my mirrors and looking back and forth. I was really excited when they released Montana for ATS because that's my home state, and it's amazing to be able to see a place that you know brought to life in a game. Very cool. Kind of feels like just about the right amount of playtime for any one gaming session is somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour. Like, that's just the sweet spot. I did think about turning on some music, but I try to avoid doing things that'll put a copyright monetization flag on my videos. Not because I'm really intending to monetize, but I think it's just a good best practice, because down the road, if I ever do want to monetize videos, it seems like it'd be better if I didn't already have bad habits of putting copyright things in my videos. Like, I know it doesn't really matter because the videos can be up even if you have copyrighted music in them, because the music's allowed to be shared. You just can't make money off it. But I'd rather just keep them clean and free of anything that can't be monetized. So one nice thing about video game soundtracks, they are fair game. So you can in fact you can use video game sound and music for your videos, and you won't have copyright problems for YouTube. All right, we are almost to our destination, just 3 miles away. Getting off the freeway here in Fort Collins. Swing over into the left lane. We got a Walbert and a Waffle House. This guy with a pavement rolling machine on his flatbed. What do you call those? I know there's an official name for them. I feel like I know what it is, but I can't remember it. It's all right. I think one of the hardest things is learning the art of stopping without stopping too soon or too late. Quite often I'll wind up stopping like a truck length in advance of the intersection, just by accident. I was thinking about how amazing it is to be able to really truly just experience the open road in a trucking game like this, because like, I remember Midtown Madness. That was a game I was really fond of as a teenager. And you drive your cars around in the city, like San Francisco or Chicago, I want to say. But you always kind of wish the map was bigger, because you could tell that it was, it was limited. It wasn't like you could just drive across America. But in American Truck Simulator, you can do just that. And it's true, you can't, explore everywhere. But you have these long distances that you can explore. So it feels like you have true freedom, because you really can just follow the road for hours and not wind up being in the same place more than once. Pretty amazing. All right, we got our protected left turn. Turning yellow before I can get out of the intersection. Please don't give me a ticket. Got a nice little downtown area here. Never been to Fort Collins. Other than going to the airport, I haven't really been to Denver at all, or anywhere in Colorado. I know there's a fan fest in Colorado. I was thinking about going to it. Don't know if I will or not, but I saw that the lady who played the Beverly Crusher character in Star Trek: The Next Generation would be at the Fan Fest in Denver this year doing autographs. I thought that'd be kind of cool to get her autograph on a picture from Star Trek. It'd be one of those things you keep around and stick up on a wall or something, and tell people about for years to come. Got my little armadillo buddy here on the seat with me. I know there's mods where you can actually put a passenger in the seat with you, like a human passenger. That'd be kind of cool. But it goes back to what I was saying earlier about, go down the rabbit hole of adding mods and you just never stop. I got Skyrim for $16. It was on sale, so I got it. And it is a pretty cool game. Alright, so here's our problem. I need to go into this gate here, but I don't think I have. I don't think that I have enough clearance to go in that way. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to pull ahead, and I'm going to have to go around the block, and then I'll come back so that I have clearance to turn in there. Cemetery here on both sides of the road. Pretty good sized cemetery. The thing I've learned is it's better to go slow and get it right the first time than it is to try to go quickly and then wind up getting into an accident. Which is true both in the game and also in real life. Got a little garage sale, yard sale going on there. Okay. So, we should have no problem turning in here. See where they want us to put this trailer. Okay. So this is going to be our challenge. We're going to get into cheater outside view. Because what we're going to have to do here is we're going to have to turn this trailer around and back it the entire way around. Which isn't probably going to be too hard. Other than I'm not very good at backing up trailers. I am the guy who, quite a number of years ago, failed my parallel parking portion of the driving test. So that tells you a little bit about what sort of a driver I am. Not the one that you'd really probably want to trust with too much semi-truck driving backwards around corners action. But that's alright, because this is a video game and it's not real life. So stakes aren't too high. See, we're not doing too bad. Though I don't know if I'd do so well if I was relying entirely on my mirrors. But even if I was good at using my mirrors to back up, I don't know that I would really rely on it in this game. Unless I had, like a head tracking system or something like that. All right, so straighten out a little bit. Well, I don't know. Don't know what I'm doing here. Try to keep it nice and slow so we don't get in trouble. And just for realism purposes, let's straighten it out a little bit. And that's just about perfect. And we've done it. An excellent job completed. Good stuff indeed. And we'll go back to our truck here for a minute. Just to take one last look. A nice view of Houston, Texas there. We'll pull away from the dock here and see if we can find a place to park. Maybe we'll pull over here. And that ought to do. Well, actually, you know what? I take that back. We can go next door because I see there's a rest area there, right around the corner. So we're gonna go find it. I think that's a truck dealership. That Colorado State University over there? Looks that way. Yep, that's a Freightliner store. So we'll be able to pull in there and do our repairs and get some rest. So next time we drive, we're all rested and ready to go. $1,500 to get our truck all repaired back into ship shape. And we are gonna pull right around here, and there's our rest area. And we get some rest. All right, we are all ready for our next journey, wherever that may take us. So, till next time, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.